You don't even have to believe in Jesus for this one. He tells a story about a dinner party that will help you become a better version of yourself, like today, if you understand what it means. Hi, I'm Jeremy. I'm a deep skeptic, also a pastor. The story is called The Great Banquet, and if you grew up in the Southern Baptist Church and you want the Bible reference, it's in Luke chapter 14. But the story is about this guy throwing a huge dinner party. He invites all these guests, and they all at the last minute make up excuses. Now, in this culture, it would be just unthinkable, because this party is kind of the same as getting a promotion at work in that culture. It increases your status in a huge way. And these people making up excuses that don't make any sense are not just like risking their own promotion in the culture, but they're deeply offending and shaming this guy who's throwing the party. Then it says that the guy is angry. Of course he's angry because this puts at risk his standing in the entire community. But the question at that point is, what's he gonna do with his anger? Like, he could start like a big relational war. He could like make a huge deal about it. There's all kinds of things. And something like that is probably what's expected. But then he goes even further. He invites people that are poor and crippled. People who in that culture would never have expected to be at the table, and who no one would ever expect to be at that table. But who in that culture were sort of the responsibility of the community. And this brought him like super incredible honor, because he turned this horrible thing into a way to help people who really needed help. And that's the part that can help you become a better version of yourself, because when you ask yourself the same question, it can change everything. The question is, what are you gonna do with your anger? When you hear something bad, when you read some news story, when you do whatever, what are you going to do with that anger? Because anger can be a gift. What the emotion of anger does is it helps you take action that you would normally sort of hold back from. Of course, that can be negative if you're going to start a bar fight with it. But if you need help to do something about an actually important issue, like the poverty that it happens in this story, well, anger can be huge. My experience is most of the time I waste my anger. I spend it on making some sassy social media post or something like that and miss the point. But if we start this practice of whenever we feel anger, asking ourselves, how am I going to use this anger? How am I going to use this anger to make a positive impact in the world? Well, all of a sudden, I'm a much better version of myself when I ask that question. And if you're interested in information like this, like interesting cultural background stuff, I've got a deep dive into that story on my show Unbelief. And, you can just search for that anywhere that you listen to stuff like that, and you'll find it.